Call it first-class confusion. Airline travelers are having more and more trouble distinguishing between first class and business class as airlines blur the lines. Here to help us figure it out is WSJ's middle seat columnist, Scott McCartney. Scott, thanks for being with us. So is there no industry standard for the labels first class or business class?
No, there really isn't, and airlines have gotten real creative in creating all kinds of different classes within those classes. It's a real hodgepodge. Sometimes first-class seats are sold at business class prices. Sometimes business class seats are really first class. Sometimes domestic first class and international really blurs as airlines move different airplanes around the system and create new products like specials cabins for transcontinental service between New York and LA, but not from other cities like Boston or Philadelphia.
Right, and there are other classes of travel like premium and one that get tacked on, and it's sort of unclear what those are.
Yeah, Delta One is kind of the latest example. They had Business Elite, and they renamed that Delta One. They want it to sound better than business class, but they don't want to call it first class because they want to sell it to corporate travelers as business class. It gets hard to, so Delta One is better than Delta First Class on domestic routes. It's hard to tell what's what sometimes.
So interesting. And Scott, you found a situation where sometimes you can pay a first class price for a seat when there's a business class fare available that would be, say, $600 less and would have put you in the same seat?
Yeah, so this is a quirk of the global distribution systems, the reservation computers that travel agencies, both traditional and online, use. There are two fare classes for business class. There are two fare classes for first class. United has decided to offer 4 different prices for first class seats using those 2 business class prices. So if you go on Expedia, Travelocity, Orbitz, you can see on a domestic flight, see a first class price and also a business class price on some flights. There aren't any business class seats, but the price is $600 cheaper. And so if you book it as business class, you get the first class seat at a cheaper price.
So does this mean we should really be paying attention to the specific plane and the seats on that plane rather than the ticket's class label?
Yeah, that's exactly right. In American's case, for example, with their New York to Los Angeles, New York to San Francisco service on Airbus A321s, the only way you can distinguish the difference in the service on those planes from other A321s is to look at the seat map. American says they can't, even on their own website, they don't classify them as different. So you look at the seat map or the seat count, and you see, hey, that's a much more spacious first class than I get from Philadelphia or other cities.
And that's how you can figure out if you're actually getting a fully reclining seat for the price that you're paying rather than just a semi-reclining seat, right?
And it's a huge difference. So you get a lie flat bed that's almost 7 feet long versus a reclining seat that goes back maybe 6 inches, has half the space. And it's the same airplane, the A321. It may be a different price in some cases, similar prices.
Great tip, Scott. Pay attention to the plane because even travel agents get this one wrong, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that.
Sure. Take care.